February this year, a new report shows that Britain is the second most miserable country in the world. Do you want to know who's first? Uzbekistan. We are second to a former Soviet country of how miserable we are. Just let that sink in. I was born in a place called Great Britain. However, I have resided in a place called Britain for the past 16 years. Because we dropped the great part of it, I believe, back in the 90s, 2000s. I'm 36 now, so going back 16 years, we're talking maybe 2007 when the recession hit. I personally think this was the start and the downfall of what we see today. But there are probably people who are older than myself who can say, actually, no, KD, I remember when it started happening long before. The point of the conversation is we are not Great Britain anymore. We are just Britain. And we are the second most miserable country in the world, which does not surprise me. And it probably doesn't surprise you that's listening to me right now. If anything, Britain are a country that do things bad the best, right? So I'm not surprised entirely about this. We have so many things that we do wrong, but we're the best at doing wrong. So ultimately, I do understand that we are going to now have this title. It was inevitable, really. The state of the UK. If you're a young person right now, like, God help you, because my 20s growing up was fun, but I don't see any 20-year-old having fun in this life right now. And that is sad. So I just wanted to kind of touch on a few things as to why I think this may have been, or, a couple of attributions towards the future of where we're headed. Some of them you may already know and agree with, and there may be some that you didn't think of that make sense. So, why has Britain caught the contagious bug we call miserableness? Well, I do think there are a few factors that come into play, but one of the big ones I do believe, I may have some people that disagree with me, and that's absolutely fine. This is what we're here for. But I do think that it's the culture, specifically lack thereof. So, what I mean by this is, I remember growing up in a time where I was 5 or 6 years old, and my mum and her friend and her kid that was the same age, would hang out and go to the pub, go and have a pub lunch, whilst me and the kid would go and play on the bouncy castle that was in the back garden. And, it was the beer garden. My mum and her friend would have a cider, I believe. And it was just what we did, right? That was kind of every weekend or as and when my mum and her friend could afford it. But that was one culture that we did, the pub culture, right? So this was a place where we could go and socialize, we could go and get a nice meal. Carveries were really, really popular. And this was booming, like booming in the 90s. I remember we would have to always book when we would go to the Toby Carvery, some of you may be, familiar with. And I feel that we have lost this culture. Obviously, a lot of it is down to the recession and the flandemic, because all I saw was shop and pub after shop and pub closing down. All brick and mortar places have started to slow down or close down in the last 10 years. Now, I know that online shopping is going to play a part of that. I do know that, of course. However, the culture that we had, the tea drinking, afternoon lunch eating, pub going, happy sort of Brits, that's gone. That's gone now. If people do go to the pubs, the ones that are left to go and have a meal, they need to save a certain amount of money in order to go and have that luxury, right? So this has in turn made us more miserable. We haven't got an outlet to go and see our friends, go and have a quick, nice, cheap drink, go and have a meal while the kids go and play and we get some time on our own. That's gone now. You need to work to survive. This has also made us more sad and depressed in turn. So Back in the day, again, I'm going to say people would go to work, do their 9 to 5, come home, have some food, have dinner time with their family, go to sleep, wake up, go back to work again. But they would be happy to do that because the amount that they were bringing in allowed them to pay all their bills, have somewhat of a good life. And that's been ripped away now. Even people that are rich are probably feeling this, right? Because we live to our means. So I can imagine that if I was a wealthy person who had a successful business and started from nothing and started to earn a lot of money, my life would change. I would like to tailor that around changing, right? Specifically going on holiday to Thailand. But when this happens to everybody, it happens to everybody, right? So even the rich people are feeling this, and I have my utmost sympathy because they've worked hard for what they've got, right? Which brings me into the second reason as to why I think Britain has become super miserable. And that is we are a country of down putters. Now, I'll digress on this a bit because there's a lot to say, so just keep up with me here, please. I don't know about you, but I feel as though Britain doesn't reward success. And that goes for the government as well, because as soon as you start earning a certain amount of money, they tax you 40% of that. 40%. That's horrendous. So that's one part of it, right? They're like, oh, you're successful. Oh, you're bringing in a lot of money. Oh, you're a capitalist. Cool. We'll take that from you. Right. So that's going to make people miserable in itself. And the second part of that, in what I mean, is when you say to your friends, hey, how are you doing? You're all right. The usual response is, yeah, I'm all right, not bad. It's never, yeah, I'm really good, thanks. Yeah, I'm fantastic. I'm really, really good. Thank you for asking. How are you? Because if you say that to your friend or whoever's asking, they immediately get defensive because they're not happy. How dare you be happy? Right? So, what's so good in your life? I find that people don't want people to be successful. Like they want people to be perpetually upset and failing or not succeeding in life, whether or not that's because they themselves are not succeeding in life. I don't know, but this could be just a consensus in general of the fact that we are pretty much told that if you work hard and succeed, you will be penalised for that. And if you don't work hard and you just sit on your ass and accept everything, you're okay. So this is why a lot of people are leaving the UK because there are so many wealthy individuals who have succeeded in life because they work super hard for what they've got and they're not about to let the UK government take it from them. So they'll move to other countries that have a lower tax. Do you know we're one of the highest countries with a tax rate as well? That's like for another video as well. But like people will move to other countries. Why do you think these business people don't live here? Because it's too expensive to. So they move to these other countries that have a lesser tax rate. Dubai is one of them. I don't think they have any tax rate at all, but it's so expensive there that that's why you need the money, right? But this in turn has caused people to become more miserable because it's like, well, I can't feel happy around my friends. I can't feel successful around my friends because they are not successful. They are not happy. So I don't want to rub it in their face. So every time they ask, how am I doing? Even though I'm doing fantastic and everything's going really, really well, you just kind of say, yeah, I'm all right. Cheers. I'm good. Thanks. Because you don't want to start that ultimate atmosphere that seems to arise from British people when you say that you're successful when you're doing well. It's like we always have to be suffering, like, and if you're not suffering, what's wrong with you? How are you not suffering? How are you not doing that? I'm suffering, so you must be. That blows my mind. Like, I probably know that that's like a personal thing, and the fact that these people that are like that are, perpetually depressed in their life every single day. And social media is not going to help you because ultimately what you're doing when you're scrolling is just having some jingling keys in front of you to keep you distracted from the reality of life that you need to change. So it could just be that these people are that sad, depressed, angry, miserable that they are projecting it onto other people. But it also just could be the energy of people right now. So another big big thing that I think a lot of people miss, which is why we are so messed up as the Western culture, right? And I'm gonna frame this as the Western culture now, because this actually does include the UK, USA, and you'll know exactly what I mean when I break this down to you. Crime is glorified in the West. We have rap singers and music artists that literally rap about three things, right? What are those three things? Can anybody guess? I'll let you know. Guns, violence, and hoes. A lie? A lie. Guns, violence, and hoes. That's it. And that even goes for like the female rappers as well, right? Talking about like all sexual stuff and things like that. Like, then you've got all the violence that comes with it, like people talking about, pew pew and stuff like that. It's glorified, it's seen as cool. We reward violence, we reward crime. We have so many people that self snitch, right? Because they think that it's cool. But you don't get that in all of the countries. Specifically, I'm going to mention Thailand because I've been there and I know the values and how they hold their country. And there's many other countries that do this as well, but this is my personal comparison. In Thailand, if you was to do such things that the West and British and other Westerners do, you would be shunned, you would be shamed, and you'd have repercussions. It's as simple as people do not like that. People do not want to see it. And people do want to see you get in trouble for it. And Thailand is one of the places that I know that actually hold down what they say they're going to hold down when it comes to crime. So you don't have this huge population of people that want to go out and commit crimes and be violent because it's cool and go and put it on social media to get likes and clout or whatever the fuck they want. You actually have hardworking people that go by a sabai sabai, which is a everything's good, everything's okay. They're a Buddhist society, so they live off of the karma anyway, like, do good, get good at the end of the day. Why aren't we like this? Why aren't we like this? Oh, that's right, because we've had a society growing up where we've been told to be violent and you'll get rewarded. Another thing that goes on with the crime. How many of you go on holiday abroad to other countries and when you see some shit kick off, it's a Brit? Hands up. Hands up. It's also happened probably multiple times. So multiple hands up. Every single thing that happens that's bad, or that we get drunk, we get violent, we break laws in other countries, like it doesn't matter. It's always the Brits that do this. Where have we got this from? Where have we got this from? Because this is a continual cycle that happens probably every day. We just only hear about the like hardcore ones that happen, right? So that's a big one. I think crime and violence is glorified in the West and it is penalized in the East, specifically in Thailand and any other countries that do penalize. So we've touched on no culture. We've touched on violence and glorification in the West. And the third thing that I want to touch on is we would call them shopping centers. Americans and other places would call them malls, I guess. But I remember growing up, I would finish school, go home, get changed, call up my mates, and go to the shopping centre, go and get some food, go and look at the shops, go to the park, go and chill out, go and hang out, socialise and have fun with my friends after school in these shopping centres. There were lots and lots of things to do. It was a great place to be. It was thriving. Now, not so much. I know that in America, your shopping centers, they're just bare and empty and there's like nothing, nobody goes there anymore. Our shopping centers in the UK are closing down left, right, and centre. There are there is nothing to bring us back to the nostalgia of where we were happy. Everything's being ripped away from us. And whether or not that's because of finances, because they couldn't keep up, because of whatever, I don't know. All I know is that where is it going to go? Are we going to be like fully online? Because when I went to Thailand, again, their shopping centres, oh my God, their shopping centres are vibrant. They are filled to the brim with people, right? Food stores over here, clothes stores over here. There are so many in Thailand, it's unbelievable. And they're continuing to make more because so many people go there. So many people feed into that economic structure. And we don't have that anymore. We don't have any happiness. We don't have any shops. We don't have anything to feed into it. And if we do, we've got to save for it. Like I said, you've got to save half a fucking year to be able to go and get a nice takeaway. So you may not have thought about it, but shopping centres have played a pivotal role in the UK relaxing, I believe. I don't think we get a chance to relax anymore. The pubs are gone, shops are gone, shopping centres are gone, restaurants are too expensive. Like, what is there left for us to do other than to go to work, come home, eat, sleep, stay at home, don't go out, and eat, sleep, repeat? What is there else for us to do? And ultimately, that's going to cause miserableness. That's going to cause depression. That is going to cause so much mental health issues. And we've seen this with reports. The report that came out in February in 2024 was based off of mental health. So we are the second most miserable country in the world because of mental health. And I'll tell you something now, we ain't ever going to get back to Great Britain. We are not going to change it. So my next video is going to focus on how young people and anybody really, because I'm 36 and I'm looking to do it, how you can get out of the UK, how you can try and start something or be in a mindset where if you don't want to be here, you can get out. Sorry for the passionate rant, but I just felt like I needed to explain a few things as to what I've seen throughout my life growing up, and maybe you have seen other things as well that I'd like you to let me know. You know, if you're an older person, and I've seen a lot of comments that have been sort of floating around that it was due to Tony Blair that a lot of this happened, and I'm too young to remember those sorts of things, but please do sound off in the comments if there is anything that you think I missed. If there's anything that you would like me to talk about, please let me know, because honestly, I want to find out the collective consciousness of what is going on right now in this Great Britain.